cutting steel and commencing work on Doris Miller. I'm Aaron Pritchett, and this is Focus NNS. Hello, I'm Aaron Pritchett, and welcome to this edition of Focus NNS. We're here at the Heavy Plate Bay area inside the Steel Fabrication Assembly Facility at Newport News Shipbuilding, the site of the ceremonial first cut of steel for the next Ford-class aircraft carrier Doris Miller CVN-81. We'll take you to this highly anticipated event. Plus, the Virginia-class submarine program continues to move forward as the 22nd submarine named for the father of the nuclear navy is officially christened. And it's a marathon and a sprint all in one, as two ships are currently in two different phases of its midlife refueling and complex overhaul. Those stories and more coming up, but first on deck, the journey begins to bring the fourth Ford-class aircraft carrier to life. Doris Miller CVN-81 will be the first aircraft carrier named for an enlisted sailor and the first name for an African American, a man who truly answered the call when his country needed him most. Doris Miller was born in Waco, Texas, and enlisted in the United States Navy as a ship's mess attendant in 1939. And although his time was spent below deck with other African Americans, Messman Miller was put to the test on Sunday morning, December 7, 1941, with the sneak attack on Pearl Harbor. Doris Miller had just finished serving breakfast on the USS West Virginia, BB-48, and immediately sprung into action to not only rescue the ship's captain from the bridge, but quickly rushed to an unmanned and unfamiliar machine gun. And it is believed he shot down multiple Japanese planes. Miller was one of the last men to leave his sinking ship, and after unloading on the enemy, he turned his attention to pulling fellow injured sailors out of the harbor's burning oily water. It was because of his extraordinary bravery and heroism, Doris Miller became the first African American to be awarded the U.S. Navy Cross, the Navy's second highest honor. Admiral Chester Nimitz, commander of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, presented him the award during a ceremony aboard the USS Enterprise CV-6 on May 27, 1942. Although Doris Miller lost his life in 1943 while serving aboard the USS Lipscomb Bay CVE-56 after being struck by a torpedo from a Japanese submarine, the Navy later went on to honor his legacy with the commissioning of the USS Miller FF-1091, a Knox-class destroyer escort on June 30, 1973. Today, Miller's legacy is once again alive and well, thanks to the tremendous work of Newport News shipbuilders who are bringing the newest aircraft carrier, Doris Miller CVN-81, to life with her ceremonial first cut of steel.
Welcome to the first cut of steel ceremony for our nation's newest aircraft carrier, Doris Miller CVN-81.
Oh, say, can you see I the dawn?
Father, I thank you that we are all able to assemble all together in one joyous occasion to witness history right before our eyes.
Today, we recognize the start of construction of the fourth ship in the Gerald R. Ford class, the first aircraft carrier ever named in honor of an enlisted sailor and the first named for an African American. From this day forward, our shipbuilders will put their hearts into every piece of pipe they fit, every unit they lift, and into every inch of steel that they weld. Shipbuilders, I thank you for all the hard work, the innovation, and the dedication that you will put into transforming this first piece of steel into an awe-inspiring aircraft carrier.
We are in the greatest nation in the world. Being on this stage, having the opportunity to speak of my great uncle would not happen anywhere else in the world. The Miller family cannot express in words what this means to us, to Americans, and to anyone that is inspired by Doris Miller's story. I would want to say thank you all with the utmost gratitude that continues to keep Doris Miller's story standing tall and the memory of his footprints alive in the naming of the USS carrier after Doris Miller.
And now I think we're ready to cut some steel. The big machine to my left is the ESAB Avenger burning machine. The ESAB will be operated by machine hand Gerald Bish. Gerald is an 11-year veteran shipbuilder and today is performing this important duty for the first time as part of a steel cutting ceremony. This plate, by the way, weighs 35 tons and will become part of CVN 81's foundation.
On behalf of the Miller family and in honor of Doris Miller, cut the steel.
This is big. I was kind of hoping they would ask me to do it. Whenever they did, it's like, yeah, I got it. You know, whenever you do it every day, it becomes nothing. Now all of a sudden you got a big audience there, you don't want to mess up. I mean, we've gone over the machine a few times, you know, and you just want everything to go right. It's a one-shot deal. I mean, these plates are big and expensive and they take a long time to get in, and you just make sure it's right.
Gerald, that was an excellent job. Thank you very much. Great first cut. To all, let's give him a round of applause. This really starts something big. To all of our distinguished guests, Miller family members, thank you all for joining us today. Shipbuilders, let's build this ship with pride. Thank you all.
A great event, a great opportunity, and a great day for our shipbuilders and the United States Navy as we look forward to the months and years ahead as Doris Miller CVN 81 is constructed here at Newport News Shipbuilding. Now, let's take a look at some other news from around the yard. Mission accomplished. USS Gerald R. Ford CVN 78 successfully completed its third and final shock trials off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida on August 8th. Shock trials validate a ship's shock hardness and ability to sustain operations in a simulated combat environment using live ordnance. During the 4-month testing evolution, the first-in-class aircraft carrier withstood the impact of 3 40,000-pound underwater blasts, released at distances progressively closer to the ship. CVN 78 has since returned to Newport News Shipbuilding for a 6-month planned incremental availability. During the availability, shipbuilders will conduct detailed inspections, assess any damage sustained during the trials, and continue modernization and maintenance work in advance of the ship's deployment in 2022. The U.S. Navy's 22nd Virginia-class submarine Hyman G. Rickover, SSN 795, was christened on July 31st at General Dynamics Electric Boat in Groton, Connecticut. Like all Virginia-class submarines, SSN 795 was built by shipbuilders at Newport News Shipbuilding and Electric Boat as part of a teaming agreement. NNS President Jennifer Boykin attended the event and represented the thousands of NNS shipbuilders who worked to build the submarine.
It means a lot, seeing what Rickover has done for this Navy program and how he's helped along EB and Newport News. It's really awesome to be a part of a boat with that name.
During the ceremony, Sarah Greenert McNichol, the matron of honor and daughter of ship sponsor Darlene Greenert, broke the ceremonial bottle of sparkling wine across the submarine's bow. Making progress on John F. Kennedy's CVN 79 one space at a time, as shipbuilders recently eclipsed the 20% mark on compartment completion, turning over to the ship's crew more than 500 of the total 2,615 spaces. They've also installed more than 8 million feet of cable, or more than 1,500 miles of the approximately 10.5 million feet of cable on Kennedy. The most recently completed spaces included berthing, machinery, and electrical. This allows sailors assigned to the pre-commissioning unit to continue training on the ship while final outfitting and testing progresses.
Just like any big item, you can't sell it the whole thing at once. So we've got to be able to sell the ship one space at a time. And our team goes in as a cohesive unit so that we can sequence the work and make sure everybody's in the right spot at the right time, because that way we can provide our customer, the Navy, with a first-time quality product.
So I genuinely love what we do. We're building somebody's home, somebody's workplace, and I have family that's in the Navy, and they're up here for months at a time, sometimes years. This is all they see, so why not look at something beautiful? So if I can turn something so rusty into all of this beauty, why wouldn't I love that? I genuinely love what I do.
From new construction to overhaul, USS George Washington CVN 73, which has been undergoing its midlife refueling and complex overhaul, or RCOH, since 2017, is now about 90% complete. This critical midlife maintenance phase of the ship will allow the aircraft carrier to return to the Navy fleet for another 25 years. Recent successes aboard the ship include operational air conditioning, chill water systems, and medical facilities. The Nimitz-class aircraft carrier is moving into testing, which is designed to exercise all aspects of the propulsion plant systems and will certify the systems and components for future operations. USS George Washington CVN-73 is expected to be redelivered to the U.S. Navy sometime next year. The midlife refueling and complex overhaul, or RCOH, of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier may be the most challenging engineering and industrial task undertaken anywhere. And as the USS George Washington CVN-73 has its eyes on the finish line, USS John C. Stennis CVN-74 is just beginning. And although there's no possible way of showcasing every little thing our shipbuilders are doing, here's just a little insight into a project that was recently conducted to cut into flight deck to access other levels of this mighty ship. Impressive and quite honestly great work by our shipbuilders as they continue on with the grueling but rewarding grind of getting this process underway, as no portion of this ship is left untouched during its midlife refueling and complex overhaul. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of Focus NNS. Remember, check out our weekly publication Currents for the latest shipyard news and download our free app, NNS To Go. It's available in the Google and Apple stores on your smartphones and tablets. Keep up to date with all of our latest videos and spectacular photos on all of our social media channels. And don't forget to watch Focus NNS on city TV and cable channels across the great state of Virginia. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Aaron Pritchett.